Hello guys, it's Chili here. The latest info on the new Order of the Dragon variant civilization coming in the Sultan's Ascend expansion for AOE4 has just been released. This has been a hotly awaited civ. I know a lot of HRE players were especially excited since the current faction has only a paltry 2 unique units, and I gotta say, I'm overall quite pleased with this variant, especially compared to some of the other ones. Let's get into the details so I can tell you exactly what I mean. First off, I like that the Order of the Dragon is a name rooted in real history. The Order was founded in the early 15th century as an aristocratic society dedicated to fighting against the Ottoman Empire, which is of little surprise considering that the founder, Sigismund of Luxembourg, was the King of Hungary prior to becoming the Holy Roman Emperor. Far from its own political entity, the Order of the Dragon was more like a medieval marketing campaign. The establishment of the Order was designed to give Sigismund's supporters a cool kids club to feel special about being a part of, and also provide them an enemy to unite against, in this case the Ottomans. Over time, the Order of the Dragon came to encompass many interesting historical figures, most notably Vlad II, known as Vlad the Dragon, or Dracul, who had become the father of Vlad III, the Impaler, the son of Dracul, Dracula. Sigismund was also the king of Bohemia for a time until the Hussite Wars occurred. He was the guy that fought against Jan Žižka and the Hussite war wagons, and you can probably guess how that turned out. While the symbol of the dragon is historically associated with Satan in Christian tradition, the Order's symbol features a cross on the back, the Cross of St. George. It's the same cross that's on the English flag in the game. According to legend, St. George slew a dragon to save the people of Libya, and in essence, the Order of the Dragon are meant to be dragon slayers, the dragon being their enemy. In our flag for the faction though, that cross is gone, so we're just the dragon now. Also, it's pretty neat that the dragon design has its tail wrapped around its neck, reminiscent of the Ouroboros, an ancient Greek and Egyptian symbol of the circle of life. Not really sure how that applies to the Order historically, but hey, it looks really neat. While the history here is really interesting, it still doesn't quite fit into a game about empires. The idea of a faction built around a small elite order is a very compelling concept, but I personally would have preferred a different chivalric order that maybe had more stately functions or was better known, like the Templars or the Teutons or the Kingdom of Jerusalem or something. In a way, especially with the historical tie-ins, we're kind of getting a Hungarian faction here. What with the leader being the Hungarian king, the order founded in Hungary with the express purpose of fighting Hungary's mortal enemy, and all the units have this black armor, reminiscent of Matthias Corvinus's Black Army, though technically it's not clear in the literature whether his army literally wore black armor or just held black banners. Of course, I'm still personally hoping for a fuller representation of Hungary in the future, and my concept for that faction is still a work in progress. In my opinion, there's a lot of really cool gameplay potential for a civ like this. Of course, on the art side, we got another amazing looking piece by Craig Mullins. One small nit is this guy over here. Unless I'm misreading this, it looks like he's got 2 left arms coming out of him. It's also interesting to note that the symbol emblazoned on our leading man's chest is very clearly the imperial eagle of the Holy Roman Empire. We also see this symbol on all the shields of the Order soldiers, yet we don't see the symbol on the regular HRE troops. While this isn't necessarily weird from a historical standpoint, considering the fact that the Order of the Dragon was an aristocratic order within the Holy Roman Empire, it does look a little bit confusing in game. When combined with the fact that the Order of the Dragon structures and units share largely the same visuals as HRE, it makes me think that I'd rather have this faction be listed as a sub-faction or an alternate of HRE rather than stand as its own explicit civilization. Taking a look at the units, the Order has all the same units that HRE has, but this time they're bigger. It seems like they cost more, they do more, and they look way cooler. Basically, we're getting sexy HRE. Even their villagers seem to be better in every way, which is reminiscent of the Coureur de Bois, the special French villager in AOE3, or the Settler Wagon, the special German villager in AOE3, or the Atlantean citizens from Age of Mythology. I think the gilded paint job on these units looks great, and I actually really like this concept from a thematic point of view. You're playing as an elite aristocratic order, your troops have the best equipment money can buy, but you're very few in number. It's a very effective way to reimagine a faction without needing to reinvent the wheel. I think it'll make for some very compelling and unique gameplay. Just imagine, losing just one villager to a French knight this time is going to be that much more rage-inducing. My guess is that this faction is going to be very micro-intensive. Oh man, Mangonels against these gilded archers is going to go hard. I was however personally hoping that a mainline civ would get this We Elite Few theme to it, and that's what I had done for my Japanese faction concept, but I'm guessing that Japan won't be going that route. Who knows, if the Order is successful, maybe we'll see something like this in the future. On the downside, I do share similar concerns to what I pointed out from the other variant civs. When you overlap too closely with the parent civ, that means you're crowding out their uniqueness. Since the Order has the same looking landmarks, same looking units, including the uniques like the Lance Connect, and I even see a prelate in this image, it'll likely make the base civ much less interesting. Additionally, I have some concerns about unit readability when it comes to this gilded armor styling. This picture depicts feudal age units, but the only way I was able to tell that was by comparing their helmets to the base HRE version. At the same time, I appreciate that the black gilded look applies to all the order units, as it makes the faction much more easily distinguishable from the base HRE, a problem that players will likely have when they're up against Drushi's Legacy. Overall, this is probably the variant I'm most excited about in this expansion. I think the expensive but extra powerful units will give this faction a completely unique identity from everything else in the game, so I'd probably rank them first. I'd rank the AOEIVs second, as though I do think they have too much complexity creep going for them. I'm a big fan of the fact that they're an actual empire being represented. Jeanne d'Arc comes next, as I really appreciate the devs going out on a limb and presenting a very unique take on the game, being centered on a hero instead of a civilization, but I would have strongly preferred a different name that fits better with the established naming convention in the game. And in last place comes Drushi's Legacy. It's got the worst name, a mishmash of unrelated thematic concepts bundled together with zero coherent identity. But hey, at least it has some Shaolin monks, that's pretty cool. That being said, I'm excited to try out all of these factions once the expansion comes out, and I'll have a ton more content coming soon. That's all from me. If you enjoyed my voice, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay frosty, stay chilly.